So we're bombarded by thousands of pieces of marketing content each and every day. And this comes through our inboxes, social media, and even in the real world, so such as like physical mail or promotional leaflets that you get. And my sort of advice is for those who are starting out in digital marketing or marketing roles, or those who maybe only just been working in a marketing position for a couple of years, it's to sort of try to understand and look and reflect and try to analyze all the marketing content that gets fired around you every single day. So which marketing material stands out, and if you have any like friends, family, colleagues, just like watching them and how they interact with different materials. So such as if, say, your other half's on their phone, they're scrolling through social media, and then something stops them in their tracks. It's just trying to understand, why did I read that? Why did I stop? What made that content stop me and actually start consuming it, so we can start learning from other effective marketing, from what works for us, what you see works for other people, and try to understand why it works, and then try to implement maybe some of those tactics or strategies in your own marketing material, and maybe just merging bits together, a bit of trial and error, and getting it through. So what are some of the key things we can learn from the effective marketing material we see in the world around us? Well, I think the first thing is try to make it relevant. So recently I stumbled across YouTube and I was watching a podcast, and just when I clicked play I got a YouTube advert, and typically my instinct will be just try and click skip as soon as possible, but the specific ad was for podcast equipment. So the fact that it was relevant to the content I was actually watching made me stop and actually think about it for a while. So really it's more about making it relevant for your audience, maybe not trying to overly focus on the product every single time. I know in sort of the world of marketing where we sort of have to push, promote and sell the products and services of our business, but trying to look at it from another way and actually giving value to your customers first as well. So that's going in then to the second point of make it valuable. So actually give away free knowledge, free information, free insights to your audience, to your customers. That way then over time you're sort of building up this relationship with them. You can see examples all over the place of those businesses that do it well. So I'd say in like the B2B space, HubSpot's a good example. So if you look, say, at their blogs, they have tons and tons of different content out there that provides you guidance around marketing, sales, working from home, tips and tricks. They also have courses, they have webinars, and they're just giving tons and tons of information out, whilst then trying to get you then to sign on, and then they're basically just building up then a database of contacts over time. But it's the key with starting with just giving value to your audience, and that could be as much as maybe you have expertise within the business you currently work in, or you have certain people who have certain skill sets, and you can start pulling that information, just sharing it out with either your customers or your audience, and then taking it from there. The next point I think is quite an interesting one, is make it stand out. So at the start of this we mentioned we're just bombarded with thousands of pieces of marketing content day after day. Whether you're scrolling through social media, you're opening your email inbox, and I'd say for most of us our natural instinct for a lot of it is just to swipe and delete, or swipe through and ignore. But if you have something that's visually strong or stands out, that can then grab people's attention. And that could be as simple as using more video content in your marketing. So having something that's both relevant and adding value, but doing so in like a strong visual way. So you're not only providing them with great information, but you're having something that visually is captivating them, as well as the actual knowledge you're sharing. So you're sort of balancing the two things out. Now the video side of things I could go into a lot more detail, and I'll probably do a separate video on that. But yeah, making it stand out is another key one in terms of like generating that marketing content that stops people and and makes them think why they're actually reading that. So my advice for a lot of marketers, if you're starting out or maybe in the first year or so or a couple of months of your career, is just sort of try to focus around all the marketing content you see around you. Try to analyze what stands out, what works well, and maybe even watch either colleagues, friends, partners, family members, and just see when there's like certain types of content or messaging that stands out to them, whether they're browsing on their phone, going through emails, or whatever that may be. If you can see a moment when they almost click and something grabs their attention and maybe even pushes them down the path of actually buying a product or a service, and just try to understand why in that moment did that stand out to them. And then that could be covered in the points we talked about here, could be other things, and then just try to apply that knowledge into your own marketing content. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, and then there'll be more coming hopefully in the coming weeks, and see you in the next one.